we got an update today on the MetaZoo Online client, so let's break it down and see what's new. Hello and welcome, my name is Turmentic, and today we are going to break down all of the new info that we got today from them talking about the MetaZoo Online client. First things first though, we're going to get code cards actually in Legacy. That's going to be the first set. It is no longer going to be War, and that also means that all of those code cards that are going to be in Legacy are going to be from Cryptid Nation through Native. Now personally, I honestly really like this idea of these code cards being in Legacy, especially with Legacy what it is, being the set that is supposed to get us centered and more focused back on Cryptid Nation proper, leading up to War. It's also going to be the rehashing of some older Beasties, some new Beasties that they weren't able to use the art. So I really like the idea that Legacy is the first set that has code cards in it. Cool thing is I made sure to actually confirm this, and I asked Andy, does this mean War will have just War codes in them? And Andy responded with yes. So that means that, again, Legacy is going to be the first time we actually see these codes from Cryptid Nation all the way through Native. But we don't know what other products potentially those codes could be in. It was later teased, kind of, that those code cards could potentially end up in extra packs from the MetaZoo marketplace, potentially maybe promo packs in the future, things of that nature. I don't think that we'll actually only get an initial release of the Cryptid Nation through Native code cards for the online client, only because it's one of those things where a lot of key cards are in those sets. I do believe that you'll probably be able to find those codes for at least 2 to 3 years, just because it will give people the opportunity to be able to get those older sets. Now, saying that, moving forward, I do think though that every set is specifically going to only have those code cards. So War, for example, War booster packs will only have War codes in them. 7 Seas, same thing. Yokai Island, same thing. As you can tell, I'm really excited about the code cards. So let's back up a little bit and actually go to the original announcement that Andy actually put out in the Discord. Basically, he's saying that the online client is going to be debuting at the Dark Tower in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. They will have live playable online client showcase demos and learn to play demos as well ahead of the official release. Then he also says, make sure to ask about becoming a beta tester. And it's kind of funny because at one point while he was talking to us for a little bit, he had already received like over 100 messages about beta testers and things like that. So that basically is saying that we're going to be able to see the first example of this online client, how it will actually work at the Dark Tower in Point Pleasant. It's super exciting. They also actually showed us a little bit of a UI picture, which I'll go over here in a bit, but they quickly deleted it. You know I have to get that picture to go over it, and there's a lot of really cool stuff in that. So I'm going to go over some of the stuff that we were talking about in the Discord before we go over that UI picture. There was some confusion at one point. Some people were thinking that you had to be a Dark Tower in order to be a beta tester. That's not true for the online client. It's just going to be able to be seen for the first time at Dark Tower. If you do want to be a beta tester, there will be explanation, I'm assuming here in the next coming days, maybe week or so, actually, with this is how you actually apply to be a beta tester. Might be very similar to how you actually sign up to be a play tester for one of the core sets, but at this point we're not entirely sure what the process is in order to try to sign up. Now this next one I want to actually read in its entirety. I fully stand behind this. We talked about this before when we actually talked about the online client a little bit in a previous video, but Andy writes, so here's the thing, and think about it for a second before anyone has any reactionary responses. We want good and experienced players, yes, but almost as or more importantly, we want inexperienced players, new players, people without any MetaZoo gameplay experience. We need to make sure that the game is accessible and balanced, and that the walkthrough provided in the online client will be enough to support those that already know how to play, but also those looking to learn how to play. That said, we will have a mix of lottery-style picks as well as targeted professional level player picks, but again, equally as important, players that are complete novices. And like I said before, I fully support this because this is something where the online client has to be easy for new players, for people that never even heard about MetaZoo to be able to pick it up and actually use it. This will bring in so many thousands, if not millions of new casters if you can use the app, which is slated to be able to be used on a PC, Android, and iOS devices. So if you can literally just pick it up and play a match, get better, learn how to play. There are so many people that I know that are interested in this game that want to play this game, but they live either in a remote area or they live in an area that doesn't have a big MetaZoo community yet, which I've been watching, and it's been amazing this last year watching these communities grow, but there needs to be people in order to actually play it. So this is amazing in my opinion. Where this online client is going to be revolutionary for MetaZoo as a whole, because it's going to give the ability to be able to play the game literally at your fingertips at any time you want. One of the reasons why some of these other TCGs have such a robust online presence is because of their online client. You can pick up a phone and play a Pokemon. You can pick up a phone and you can play Yu-Gi-Oh! And so if MetaZoo actually has this online client and it is easy for people to learn, it's easy for people to pick up, then it's, like I said, it's going to be game changing. But at the same time though, if more experienced pro level players can use it to test decks or to do other things like that, that sets it at another bar completely. Like, I'm really excited that they want to include non-MetaZoo players, if you will, into the MetaZoo beta test for the online client. Just because, again, if you can teach somebody easily how to play this game using it, the sky is literally the limit. Now, we do actually hear from Andy, and he says, what's cool is some of the beta rewards are in-game skins that will never ever be able to be acquired again, as well as some in-game flair. Now, that makes me actually think that he's talking about like profile pictures, avatars, things like that, maybe different playmats, and I'll go into the playmat here in a bit because, again, that goes to the UI picture, but exclusive things that only beta testers will actually ever be able to have. And that's I like that. That's a really cool idea to reward those people who are helping them test this online client. He goes on to say that there will be an exclusive channel in the Discord for matchmaking, as well as if anybody's curious, they are going to be holding tournaments most likely through the Discord as well too. If you remember from a couple months ago, they've actually been talking about how the online client most likely will have its own tower event as well too. We're thinking it's going to be the neutral tower. It makes the most sense, honestly. And so if you can actually have a tower event that is held on either, like, using, again, your phone or a computer or something like that, that's going to be huge as well. And the reason I say that is, looking at the Towers format document, it actually has stated on there that in order to compete at Casters Cup, you have to have completed or competed in a tower. Now, I doubt that the neutral tower or the online client tower is actually going to be anywhere near up and running or ready by the time we get to Casters Cup. I still think that the online client, even with the demo being shown mid-September, I don't think it's probably going to be released to the public probably until, honestly, mid-October, maybe early November. Just because, again, you want to have that time to be able to fix the bugs. You want to make sure that, again, keep stressing this, it's easy for people to pick up, especially for new players and things like that. So I hope they honestly take their time in order to actually make sure that everything is seamless. I was curious after looking at the UI too on if we were going to have the ability in order to buy packs. Not just use a code card, but in order to receive a pack or a card or however that's going to work. But if we were able to actually use like currency or potentially even maybe real world dollars in order to buy packs on the online client. And Andy responded with that option will be there as well. Doesn't specifically lay out exactly how that's going to work, we can only speculate, but I do like the idea that if you want to, like, say, hey, I want to throw 20 bucks onto the online client, you can use that 20 bucks potentially to buy packs in case, like, let's say for example you can't actually buy any physical product. You can use that money in order to buy the product for the online client. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. On that same token though, we also don't really have any clarification on exactly how the card collection or the card counts are going to work on the online client either. I would imagine that when you start out, you are going to get some sort of a starter deck or something of that nature. Will you only have those cards though that you get from that starter deck unless you open up a pack with a code card or buying it with currency? That's something we're not entirely sure. I would imagine that some of the cards will be able to be used for rewards. I believe there's probably most likely going to be some sort of a crafting system that allows you to use some sort of resource or something like that to craft specific cards. Now, Andy did specify though that being able to buy packs will not be retroactive. He said it not for retroactive products though. Now, what I think that means is that you'll be able to buy a card or a set, like a pack, from the set that's current, But once that set either phases out, or if they ever introduce the block system, once that block phases out, I doubt you'll be able to actually buy that pack again. Now that's not stopping them from being able to give it out as a reward of some sort, but I don't think you'll be able to actually outright buy those older packs once it either phases out or the new set comes out, or of something along those lines. Looking at this UI picture, I think it looks beautiful. It's very seamless in my opinion. It's laid out very well. Just looking at it at first glance too, I love the idea that they actually incorporated the older art. I believe the picture that's in the background used to be on their website. I can't remember exactly where I've seen it before, but I know that it was a prominent picture that they used for quite a while. I'm hoping that that you'd be able to change that background, maybe actually with some of the older playmats, other things like that, some of the older illustrations, arts, things of that nature. But let's break down the UI. We're going to start up at the top left, and what you can actually see is you actually have a profile picture there, which of course is Chupacabra, but that gives me hope that you'll be able to actually use potentially your PFP. You'll be able to change it. It won't actually just be static MetaZoo pictures. I'm hoping that you actually have a little bit more freedom with that. It's kind of cool though, because you can actually see the level of the caster in that top corner along with the name. Now, looking at what it says Magic Beasts, I believe that probably is the name of the deck. Again, this is all speculative, me trying to break down this UI, but I think that's the actual deck that is selected at the moment in order to be able to play. Then you have the entire, I love it, collections, shops, and quests right over there onto the left, very clearly defined, easy to actually see and recognize. I do believe that the quests are actually pulled up at the moment, so we kind of get a little bit of an idea of exactly some of the rewards that you'll get for playing matches and stuff like that. The first one you see is you get 150, I don't know what you would call these, like Sam coins, because that is definitely Sam's sigil, but you get 150 for casting 5 landing cards. Then we also see that cast 20 poison spells, and you get 200. Attack with 20 creatures, you get 250. Cast 20 burn spells, it's 200. And then the last one is cast 20 burn spells, and it's 500. So that tells me that just because you get a specific one, like cast 20 burn spells, it doesn't mean it's going to be a set limit. It's probably going to be some sort of a parameter, like you'll get between 100 to maybe 500 of those Sam coins. I don't know what we're going to call them yet. Well, I like the idea though that they're actually using Sam's sigil, just because, again, you know me, very lore centric. But yeah, that's Sam's sigil right there, the actual 3 crowns. If you look over all the way to the right, it's interesting here because the 1v1, there's a drop down menu there, which tells me that they might have other formats in the online client. But I'm interested to actually see there's a drop down menu there, so that means that they're actively trying to actually do something, so that's kind of cool. There's a very easy way to get to the leadership boards, where you can actually see the where your rank is, where your standing is. Above that though, that's what's really interesting to me. There's 2 different types of currencies. We see that the first one, of course, is Sam's coin, the 7,810. Now, the cool and interesting thing, though, is the purple crystals right there, because it looks like you'd have the ability to purchase them. So that actually might be the currency, the in-game currency, that we actually have to use in order to buy additional packs that we can't use code cards for. Like I said though, I really like the style of the UI. It's very simple, but it's sleek at the same time. We will actually get some demos of how the game operates, how the online client works, everything like that at Dark Tower. Andy even said, any content creators that would like a special press time slot to review the client, please DM him on Discord with the first 2 words being press request, and then send a link to your socials. You do have to be at Dark Tower in order for that to actually happen, but they actively want to show off this client, which is really exciting to me. I did send him a message, so hopefully I will actually get a chance to actually check out the online client. I also hardcore want to be a beta tester for it as well. Potentially I want to actually even stream it if I can. I think it'd be a lot of fun to actually play some games with you guys actually watching, things of that nature, so I cannot wait for this online client. But my name is Turmentic. I hope you have actually enjoyed the breakdown. We got a little bit of information, not as much as we want. Trust me, I definitely want more, but at least we actually have a date now when we actually can see the online client. There's some sort of a roadmap now to beta testing it as well, which is super exciting. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what exactly you are most interested in and most excited for when it comes to the online client. Definitely keep an eye though on the MetaZoo socials. I do believe, like I said, they're going to actually do something to announce this is exactly how you apply to be a beta tester, so you definitely don't want to miss that. As soon as I see the announcement of any sort, I will definitely release it on Instagram and Twitter and all of that other stuff too, so definitely make sure you are following me. But as always, I hope you all have a wonderful night.